Your first Airbnb is always going to be the most challenging one. Not only that, 100% of the people that don't launch their first Airbnb never launch their second one. So the biggest challenge is the first one because it's going to feel like an uphill battle because you're going through the learning curve. You're figuring it all out with the first one, making all the mistakes, figuring out what worked and what didn't work. But once you get the first one, obviously the second one is so much easier. Your fifth and 10th one they're going to be the easiest ones. And I'm a big believer in focus on progress, not perfection. I believe a lot of people don't get started with Airbnb because they are way too analytical and they're not very, risk adverse, right? They don't like to take risks. They don't like to take chances. They want to know that it's going to work before they actually start. But think about this. Every entrepreneur, even though we are confident that something is going to work, sometimes it might not work. And so the reality is you're never going to know that something's going to work until you actually take action. And so my recommendation is start small and build from there. For example, I have students that will often start with a studio or a one-bedroom apartment that they might be renting out on Airbnb, and it's on a property that they don't even own. They get permission in writing from the owner, they re-rent it on Airbnb, and again, they're starting with a small studio or a one-bedroom apartment because it's going to keep the rent lower, less deposit, less furniture, overall, less costs. And they know that in the event that the property didn't perform as well as they thought, maybe they can always cover, that additional expense for the months where it's a little bit slower. And then of course, on the great months, it'll offset those costs that they have to maybe put out of pocket for 1 or 2 months. But as long as, over a 1 year period, the idea is for them to make at least 1,000 to 2,000 on these smaller units and 2,000 to 3,000 a month of cash flow on the larger units. But I always tell people, yes, of course, we want to make cash flow right away and, create a big win on the first one. But you also have to think on who you're becoming in the process. Like I'll give you an example. Back in 2018, me and my partner had the opportunity to buy a property that we fully renovated. We basically did what you call a BRRRR. You buy it, you renovate it, you rent it, you refinance it, and then you repeat. It's called the BRRRR. And when we ran the numbers, it looked like we were going to make some money on this, once it was all done. But I remember telling my partner, I said, bro, I don't care if we make money. I care about who we become in the process. Interestingly enough, when the project was all said and done, we ended up breaking even. And it was a long project that took longer and was more expensive than we anticipated. But we broke even. But the knowledge, wisdom, and experience that we got from that project has now made us millions of dollars over the last 5 years. So even if all you did was make $300 a month, let's say that was your worst case scenario. If all you did was make $300 a month of cash flow, is that going to be helpful? I mean, maybe that can cover, part of your car payment or your cell phone bill, eating out, your utilities, goes towards your mortgage, maybe whatever it is. But think about who you're becoming in the process of attaining and getting this experience. Because if you're making $300 a month, plus you're getting so much experience, the person who was over analytical, in analysis paralysis, stuck, frozen, couldn't take action, didn't take action, waiting for a perfect moment, not only are they missing out on $300, but more importantly, they're still waiting on the sidelines, waiting for this perfect moment that will never begin. So one of my philosophies is do what you can with what you have where you are. If you can't start with a house, start with a studio or an apartment, or utilizing the new feature Airbnb rooms that Airbnb just launched this summer. You can start by renting out a room, even if you don't own the property that you live in. But the important thing is to get started and build from there. Focus on progress, not perfection. With that being said, guys, if you have any questions, please let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you guys like this video and check out one of my other videos here, and I'll see you guys on the next one.